Mossy Oak presents ScentBlocker Most Wanted. Brought to you by Mossy Oak. It's not a passion, it's an obsession. ScentBlocker, nothing gets you closer. Browning, the best there is. Ford, and your quality Ford dealers. And by Tree Spider, light, easy, fast, safe.
It's deer season once again in the Midwest, our favorite time of year. The leaves have changed colors and the cold winds blow. And on this week's episode, the bucks are getting restless. More than any other time of the year, Larry anticipates the time leading up to the rut. This pre-rut period is when he gets to bust out all of his favorite tools: decoy, grunt call, rattling horns, rage, and Matthews.
Well, we just had our first cold front of October, significant one come through last night. It's cleared off. Hunting on a Whitetail Institute plot here. You can see it's so green. I just put fertilizer on this about a week ago. It's been planted about a month and a half.
For the guy who just doesn't have the equipment, which we deal with a lot of those guys, you know, you take a guy, get a buddy, and a couple of hand rakes, and maybe half a bag of fertilizer. They can go out and, you know, maybe an old log landing area that's cleared, or it may be a logging road, or just an old home site, or just a small opening in the woods. They can go out there early on a Saturday morning before season, go out there and spend, you know, half a day, or a few hours to a half a day. They can clear it, expose the dirt, put a little fertilizer down, spread a product we've got called Secret Spot, or we've got a product called Bow Stand, and also our No Plow product. Any of those three products will work beautifully in those minimally prepared soils. So we got something for the guy that just got a strong back, doesn't have a tractor, to the guy that's got the huge tractor equipment.
There's so many deer using this plot, it's crazy. We've got a cuttyback over in the corner of this field you can probably see from here. And we've got 4 or 5 shooter bucks that are using this field. Up until last week, they were getting here at 5:36 in the evening. So with this being the first cold front, the scrapes all around here have been hit overnight. And I really think if we get a buck come this field, see that buck with that doe decoy, I think it'll put him right here. The next 2 weeks are gonna be prime time for decoys.
We're not just hanging out in Missouri this whole time, we're also following Bob to Iowa as he hunts with our good friends from Timber Ghost. Bob's going to take his Redemption muzzleloader to some of the farms outside the main Timber Ghost ranch and help stock some freezers for the Iowa H.U.S.H. program.
This segment of ScentBlocker Most Wanted is brought to you by Matthews, catch us if you can, and by Rage, leading the evolution in lethal technology.
It's late October in the Show Me State, and Larry has got himself a new toy. A couple years back, we had a local taxidermist, Dave Church, stitch up a real deer hide to one of our decoys. And that worked okay. But it really clicked when our old buddy from the hill suggested we make the tail move. Larry Mazuka stripped some RC cars and concocted a robot deer that might get himself shot one of these days.
2012, I mean, who can't forget the devastating drought of last summer? It had a lot of devastating effects, not only in making it tougher for hunters, but tougher on the wildlife. So many of the deer that I seen last year were in such poor condition. And there's no doubt in my mind that the heat and dryness from spring till fall affected antler growth probably 10 to 15 inches per deer. But the heat lasted into the fall, you know, and bucks just don't move a whole lot during daylight hours when it's that hot. And even though that we had cutty-back cameras out and we had a plethora of bucks on this property that I would shoot, I hunted for days and did not see a shooter. I seen plenty of younger bucks and up-and-comers, but being able to see one of you to actually pull the trigger on was very difficult. You know, anybody that's planted many food plots or agricultural crops for wildlife know that you got to have some rain. And Whitetail Institute products are famous for being drought tolerant. Now, when you plant them in the late summer, early fall, you've got to get some moisture to get them established. I didn't plant any of my food plots until mid-September when we had that first forecast of a little bit of rain. So I tried to plant in front of it. And although it wasn't a tremendous amount of rain, it was enough to get these plots established. You know, right here you're looking at pure traction and Whitetail Institute clover. But it also worked on where we planted brassicas like wintergreens and tall-time tubers. Over the years, a deer decoy in the pre-rut has worked a lot of magic for me. And although we weren't seeing any mature bucks, this 2-year-old buck here is showing all the pre-rut behavior that you want to see in a big deer. And these are things that you can't witness firsthand unless you have a decoy out. And this guy right here, well, he was safe around me. He's got another year or two to go.
While the rut's gearing up in Missouri, later that year, Bob was looking to fill his antlerless deer tag for the Iowa H.U.S.H. program. Bob's hunting one of the many farms outside of the ranch that are leased and managed by the Timber Ghost team.
Well, as Lauren said, Bob's hunting in Iowa with his Redemption muzzleloader. And speaking of Redemption, there's been a whole lot of talks in the muzzleloading circles the last 6 months about the LHR Sporting Arms Redemption. Well, I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon, so why don't I show you what all the buzz is about. The LHR Redemption is a creation of several people that have been master gunsmiths that made another muzzleloader company what it is today. The Redemption sets itself apart from the others and make it everything today's muzzleloader hunters are looking for. It starts with the Adapt breech system that's the first of its kind. You know, the biggest problem people have with muzzleloading guns in general is maintaining and cleaning the breech plugs. Well, the Adapt breech plug is designed with the threads on the outside of the barrel where you can clean them easier. The Adapt system also allows you to disassemble your entire breech system by hand. Another great feature is that every LHR Redemption comes with fiber optic open sights and scope bases already attached. Other features include tool-free barrel removal, Armorite corrosion protectant, the Stealth Striker, there's no hammer, and the incredible FT2 match trigger. Hey, those are just a few of the reasons why we are shooting the LHR Sporting Arms Redemption. I think you should consider one too.
Okay, here's some does right here coming out of the car and right here in front of me. About 100 yards. You want her? One on the left looking back into the corner. I think she's going down right there by the woods. Man, I thought she was gonna fall right there in the field. Holy Holy smokes. We only had about 2 minutes of legal shooting time left and just about out of light for the camera, but I got to believe she's laying right there at the edge of the woods. This is a doe that definitely will get her to the meat processor. They'll divvy it all up in the 2-pound blocks, and it will definitely help feed some people that have come by some hard times. And venison, well, it's some of the best stuff you can eat.